Welcome to IRL Alpha. My name is Beginbot and I'm your host, and we're here to talk about all things NFTs and Web3. However, we're not here to lecture you. We're here to fight with you. We're here to fight with each other. We're here to fight with the chat. So if you're in the audience, you got something to say, please raise your hand. There's a couple microphones floating around. We're going to get you that microphone because there's people watching us at home. That's that chat right here. So please keep your takes short, concise, don't chill. We don't need to hear your bio. Keep it on topic. If you run a little bit long, Trik's gonna start making some sounds. He's gonna tell you this, hey, you're gonna have to shut up soon. Trik, got something? If you hear this sound, boom. There we go. That sound is like, yo, maybe wrap it up here, and he might play something more intense if you won't shut up here. Like, there we go. Lovely, lovely, okay. The idea here is we're here to have conversations about what's happening this week, not shill our own backs. All right. So before we get into the stack panel, though, how this whole show works is we got topics listed. You can see them there. Opepen Mania, OpenSea deals, Gucci versus Christie's, all this stuff. We don't have to go through all these topics. It's where the convo is spicy and meaty and interesting here. So this isn't what we have to talk about, but we would like to kind of keep it on, you know, not your own bags, but what's happening this week. Okay, before we go to the panel, if you didn't know, this entire operation is only run by two people, myself and Trik. Trik is the person who handles the audio, the visual, the plants, the space, pretty much everything other than talking into this microphone right here. He's also the fastest pad master in the West. Show him what you got, Trik. Boom. If you see me turning around ever to look at Trik, that is because I want a camera changed. Okay, so just so you know, okay, don't worry about it. For the first time on the panel, fresh in LA, hasn't even been here a month, I said, Adventuring, can you be on the panel today? Someone just dropped out real fast. He goes, I could be on the panel, and I might be able to bring Logic, and boom, Logic is now here. That's super exciting. Logic, tell them a little about yourself.
Yo, thank you, appreciate it. My name is Logic, also known as Julian Gilliam. Former big tech, you might have heard of it, called Google. I left that to do Web3 and art full time. Now I run a Web3 agency called Studio Logic and just making dope shit with my homies.
Beautiful, beautiful. I was saying, the clients you have worked with, pretty crazy. You know, I'm not going to say the Chicago Bulls because Trik is a Celtics fan and we don't want you being cut off the camera, but yeah, amazing stuff. Back again, one of my favorite people. Every time I see him, he's got another job. It's literally annoying. I mean, look at, scroll down that bio a little bit. Like, it gets longer and longer every time.
I can't fit anymore.
9DCC, NFT Now, Soho, Premint, Numerai, Adventuring. What are you doing this week?
What's up? I don't know. I was thinking about playing like the role of Patrick this week and just saying like, what's up?
Oh, you can do that if you want. Yeah.
What does he say every time?
I say, yeah.
Artist.
I make art.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
I'll stick with that.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Troy, back again. So good to see you. First of all, I mean, I'm on my TikTok all day just watching this writer strike play out, and it's getting pretty intense, so it's so good to actually have an actor here. And at the same time, you're tapped into the other thing happening, which is Ordinal. So how's your week going? What's going on? Have you scabbed yet?
I haven't.
Okay.
But is what I'm doing online in the Web3 world with like acting and animation and voicing some of the things like this silly stuff. Scabbing. There's no union in Web3, so I have to eat. I have to try and eat, you know. But yeah, I'm a project owner. I own a sub 10K anime collection on Ordinals. Got a great team building that out. A lot of OG holders, like Dingaling is a day one mentor, and it's really cool. I wrote lore for a lot of big projects, and I'm trying to, you know, I've been building content with my ape. I know it's silly, but I bought it at a really cheap price to make content. I didn't want to just let bags, like the project to make bags for me. I'm gonna try to innovate and stuff. And that's about it.
Thank you, Troy.
Yeah.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with being silly, okay? We're going to get silly here tonight.
The Hollywood pick.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Troy, he will not be on stage unless we pull up the IMDb. It's part of his contract. Dude, I got to tell you, working with these guilds, these unions, it's ridiculous, man. I have to show this link every 10 minutes or he won't be on stage.
Yeah.
Okay, for the first time, we actually have two new people here. Unhinged intern. I'm saying unhinged. Are we going to call you unhinged intern tonight?
No, you could dox me. I'm Sam. Yeah.
Okay, we'll say Sam. Okay, we'll say Sam.
Nothing to hide.
Sam, building ratio Web3.
I like his bio better than mine.
What? Yeah. What is it? I run Radio Shack Twitter and tweeted about squirters. Wait.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
wait, you were that person?
That was me, bro. Yeah.
That was a great account.
That was the best tweet of all time. You did that? Oh my God. I actually literally didn't know we had a legend on stage. Okay, introduce yourself a little bit more.
Can we find
Fuck, I thought that was a joke.
Can you
No,
go? Can you
no,
go to
that
There
was
it is,
me.
right there.
If you find a squirter.
Yeah,
Mary.
look, pull it up. Yeah,
I
you
am
can click on it.
honestly, oh my God. Wait, stop. No, click on the tweet. Look at that. Look at those likes.
The comments are the best.
Please talk about how you did that and add it
Yeah.
here.
Jesus
Please
Christ.
talk about that
Oh my
as your
God.
intro. Please.
I not only did I tweet that, but I built a company off of that, which is why it says yeah. So the company that I'm the CEO of is called Ratio Web3, and it's a marketing agency. Why did I tweet that? I couldn't tell you, but I did. I tweeted a lot of fucked up stuff on Radio Shack. If you scroll back a lot, you can see that's probably not even the worst tweet that I did tweet.
We're friends, dude. And I like how ratio is also radio. Anyway, that's.
I will say, if you're a marketer,
Yeah.
there's a tweet you mentioned that we all know about. So that means you're a pretty good marketer. The room is like,
Thank you.
that tweet? That doesn't happen very often
it
with
doesn't.
tweets for a company. So, man, wow, beautiful. Sorry, I would have given you a better intro. I would have read every tweet. I didn't realize, I thought it was a joke. Okay.
It's all good. Thank you.
For the
Appreciate
first
it.
time also on the panel, I'm trying to bring more nerds on the panel. I don't know if you're actually a nerd or not. You say you develop here, so
Definitely a
hopefully. He did pull up a Rubik's Cube and solve it, so I guess you already are in the nerd category. Max, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah. My name is Max. Coming from Boulder, Colorado. First of all, thanks for having me on here. It's great to meet everyone and be here. Main focus right now is building a Discord bot called Sense, where you can build a marketing list for Discord and send out text messages and Telegram messages right within Discord. One of the things that we found, Sam included, we were doing a lot of stuff on Discord and running projects and trying to pay attention to projects, and it was really difficult for us. Because we just wanted to get texts, and all the pings from Discord were really challenging. And so we're like, okay, how can we actually reach people and keep the engagement really high for our own projects and get the information that we wanted? So we just went ahead and built our own tool in order to do that. And now we offer it as a software, and I'm having a lot of fun building it. And yeah, it's really fun.
Nice. I was going to say, we have a couple people up here that are in Discord 24/7, Troy being one of them. So actually, he's your market right here.
Yeah,
Like,
I
perfect.
love the idea of the bot. We have our own, not a shield, but it's called Sia Bot, and it's just so wonderful. She's a woman, and she's so funny and just so smart. I mean, it's a bot, and we train it, but it's just like.
Okay, so you're trying to make a bot. Max is making a bot for like useful stuff, and then Troy's like, I love bots. I'm in love with the bot right now. Her name's Sia Bot.
I'm dating a bot.
Like, I guess-
I'm dating a bot.
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe let's start with the top news of the week. I mean, truthfully, we all know what it was. I mean, open up your timeline. It's goddamn ridiculous, right? Opepen, scroll a little bit here. So if you guys didn't see here, Thread guy said, hey, people have been offering to me change my PFP. They're giving me various numeric value amounts of what it would cost. And Jack Butcher came in, made him an Opepen, made it an infinite open edition. Thread guy changed his PFP, and so did every single other person on Twitter. Not just every other person, but all the companies did. OpenSea changed, like
Top Shot.
Everyone was doing a
Rarible.
variation. 2 beeples in a row. So some people are saying, right, like maybe Thread guy lost a bunch of money. Here's someone saying he lost 700,000. Other people are saying it's the greatest marketing thing of all time. So I'm not really sure how to feel right now. I'm happy. I mean, Thread guy's been on our stage before. I'm always rooting for him. I'm glad that he got a nice big bag from this. But yeah, so curious of people, is this the greatest thing? Like, was this a good decision for Thread guy? Was this a good thing for the space? Or are we just, chasing bags?
First of all, he's 21 years old,
Yeah.
and it's a profile picture that he didn't have to sell his mutant. That wasn't a part of the agreement. He keeps his mutant. I mean, people have to evolve and change, and outside of the space, no one's going to really recognize a mutant or anything of that nature. So I don't think he should live and die by by that name, by that picture.
Totally.
He might not even be Thread guy forever. Then, he might even evolve. He's only 21.
Totally.
So.
Yeah,
I think it's awesome.
I've always said that people who are on stages either with your voice or with your face, if you're doxxed, your PFP doesn't matter as much. People hear Thread guy in spaces often. So as long as he's talking in spaces, it's a new picture. I'm like, I know that voice. Oh, it's a new picture. Cool. Even right now, this Jack Butcher, right here you can see, it maintains a lot of the same, structural look of his PFP. So you still kind of recognize it as him. So I'm very bullish on we need to divorce ourselves from a single photo, right? I've said this before. Troy.
Yeah.
Right here. This is your IMDb photo right here. Like, it's like the idea of someone saying, I have to do it every hour. Guys, he'll leave the stage. So it's like the idea that if you're going to change your IMDb photo, it's going to be like, oh my God, Troy's ruining his brand. It's like, what does he do? Is his brand the IMDb photo? No, it's acting It's being in.
All those things. I have changed it. I was.
It was an ape, actually.
I was. I'll get back to Thread in a second. I'll try to make this a minute. I did last year for 3 months have my IMDb as my ape. So other apes that were watching TV or other people on Amazon or on Paramount Plus, when the scene I'm in or whatever an actor is in, your profile comes up with your IMDb because Amazon owns IMDb. And so people have never seen something like that ever. And they would screenshot. And the other thing is auditioning for these big studios. You have to get approved once casting likes you. And the studios have to go to that IMDb, and they're looking at this ape, and it was more bullish last year for me, and so it was
working. It's like we've got a young, and now they're like, oh,
yeah.
Like another ape.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
but for Thread Guy, I love it for him. I mean, I actually felt very envious because here other people are, they've been building and stuff like that. He's been on Spaces. He's 21 years old, and this happens to him. Last week, me and him smoked outside by his car, which was a very like meager car and had spots on it. And I was like,
damn,
man,
doxing his car.
no, but he wasn't like, I'm trying to buy a flashy car. He probably could now. And I just love that it was happening to you. It's kind of great. Everybody came together. That's the narrative kind of thing, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's pretty exciting, you know.
The bigger thing is, and actually, Sammy, now I know you're the marketing genius, right? It's really in my brain. We got to get your take on this. But if you look at this, this isn't like the biggest Thread Guy win. It's a pretty big win for him. This is a big Jack Butcher win. Oh my God.
Yes.
Every person has an Opepen variation. Like, he tricked every person in the space. Every company made a variation of his project to set their official Twitter profile for. How the fuck could you get that done? Honestly, like, how could you convince OpenSea, NBA Top Shot, Magic Eden, say, hey guys, would you all change it to this profile today that's actually just about me? Like, impossible.
Scroll down where it said checkmate, which was the idea. He checkmated a checkmate. It wasn't really about Thread Guy. It was a dual kind of thing, but you're right. This, Monster Mike was talking about how the art is objectively crappy. The thing is, you can see this anywhere. It'll probably proliferate in a way that Moonbirds was hoping to do with their CCO, like Pepe has, like Pepe precedes Web3. That's kind of exciting for Jack and whatever and proliferation of this thing. And the color and the meta changes. It is just a win-win-win for Thread, but more so for Jack Butcher. But
Also, I think is...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't know if you're talking about Thread Guy losing money. He definitely didn't lose any money. Like you said, he didn't have to sell his mutant. He just changed his PFP, and I think what he gained out of it, even if it wasn't a bag, it was social capital. And how do you get all these big companies to change their PFPs and to hop onto the new current wave? It's not by paying them. It's by creating something that's so unbelievably undeniable that they want attention from it too, right? You can't buy that. You have to earn it.
And I think one of the important things was it kind of shifted our mindset from price because it was a $2 mint. So then therefore, those simple blocks of colors, everyone was able to make their own unique PFP from a $2 mint. Rebel kind of shot themselves in the foot when they tried to capitalize and resell it, which would go the different direction on that conversation. But what we're missing is...
Can you break down? What did they do? I missed
this.
They
made their own version, and then they tried to sell it.
Rebel? I missed this whole story. Oh.
But then the beautiful thing about this is I think we kind of forget is it was on Zora. And Zora's been historically all for the artists, the people. You got Zoratopia that's created by Latasha, and they've been music for. They've always put that foot first, and you had to bridge currency to Zora in order to get the joint. So it was, when they say for the culture, they really shined a light on a platform that's definitely hasn't been getting the respect is deserved.
Yeah, I will say no one thought like twice about like Zora, great, mint, great. They weren't like, what's this new platform? They were like, cool, great, Zora, mint here, cool, let's go, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of opinions about CC0 and IP rights, and how Yuga contains the ownership of IP rights, and Jack Butcher has done it's an absolute masterclass in why CC0, right? Because at the end of the day, it's intention economy. Who's going to get it? Who's going to build it? Who's going to open source it? And who's going to grab a hold of it and build universes on top of that? So, when we think, good versus bad, there is no good versus bad with CC0 versus IP. It's how you use it. It's how you spread it. It's how you build upon it. And, we've yet to see IP actually be a solid path right now. Show me who's
Whoa,
making
whoa.
money. Show me who's making money. Even, you know,
Okay.
and what I'm going to mean.
How much
What
money?
I mean by that is like, what I mean specifically is, hey, Yuga, I love those flashy videos you do, but show me the money that those people who are building bagels with a monkey are making, and maybe I'll buy into that mindset too, because right now, CC0 and open sourcing everything, to me, getting that attention economy shows a lot more value. You know, and again, that's just my opinion.
So, first of all, I do in general agree. Like, I'm a IP mini. Is that the opposite of maxi? I don't know what it is. Okay, I'm a CC.
I like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like
I'm a
that.
CC. Oh, yeah, I'm a CCO boy, right? So I definitely believe that. However, right, last week Yuga did put out the Made by Apes official on-chain verification of projects that are building, you know, with the IP. Troy was in the trailer, goddamn it. And I don't know how much all of them are making about it, but the thing about IP always is that some companies require it for due diligence. It's very fucking annoying, right? I want to sell something, they go, cool, do you have the copyright? I'm like, it doesn't matter. And he goes, do you have it? And you're like, it doesn't matter. And they're like, well, you don't have it. No deal. So it just depends. And that's older industries that I don't believe in. I think every industry needs to adopt like, oh, it's CC0. And they go, fuck yeah, cool, awesome. We don't have to worry about lawyers anymore. Let's build the thing. That's what I think smart companies will think in the future. But right now, there is a legacy media that you want to break into that's always going to say, like, you know, where's the IP?
Very well. It happened to be a perfect storm of somebody like Thread who has the energy for the last 2 years to do spaces and how it built for him. And then the CC0 thing happening. You know, with Jack Butcher being a you know, like master class in marketing, and that hasn't happened with just regular apes. The biggest apes that you know were like Machi and Franklin,
Yeah.
but they're not building their brand, the brand. Like you see their brand, but they're not really making a business out of it for the apes, right? So. I see your point there. It just, there hasn't been an ape that has transcended yet in Web 2 mass culture kind of thing that points the eyes back into Web 3 and where it came from.
But it's always this question of like, okay, you take like, you know, any person, once you have 10,000 of a collection and someone wants to build off that IP and build a brand from it, how many people can actually exist within that? Can 10,000 people all have independent brands based off of Bored Ape? Probably not.
You have
Now,
2 people up here on stage right now.
Yeah, we do, but it's not 10,000. It's, you can have probably, well, I wonder what you think. Out of a 10,000 collection, I think you could have 30. Is that like the number? I don't know.
They're doing a thing behind. They announced it with Jeff Nichols, but they've been facilitating a lot of those relationships to push those IP explorations in the community, whether it's Ape Water or Board Vodka, et cetera. And I think by creating that platform to empower, I think we're going to see a lot more, just because then now you have I guess a brain trust, if you will, to help people, you know, push those IPs forward.
There's funding.
It'll be more than 30.
There's funding behind that too.
Yeah, the AIP, yeah.
I think I begin to get bullish on IP when we start to see that play out, right? Because that's where we're at. We're not seeing those brands be pushed and supported by the founders like Penguins or Creeps or any of these brands. Like, I want to see those founders support the holders and like and start, you know, because that builds their brand.
But
right?
apes are they just last week,
Yeah.
they did it, right? They said, hey, on chain, we're saying we support you. We're saying that you own the IP. This is a project that is using ape IP that we are on chain saying is real. That's pretty good. Are those things all going to work? I don't know.
We got to give the space grace, though, because you got to realize, like, most of these people were not business people. They made a project and became successful and made 20 million, 30 million, and all of a sudden they're strapped with sustaining this community when they've never managed a community of 10 people. So when we start to look at, like, we hope these projects start to support other artists, a lot of them are having troubles putting people in place to support themselves. So it's like you got to make yourself palatable for everyone else before you start helping other people. So, like, even with the BAYC, like, it was before Garga and them left, literally it was just 4 homies making a project, and as they had to put a CEO in place, I forget the woman's name, she was probably out of the waters in regards to the NFT world, and then they put my man's from Blizzard Entertainment in that position. But that takes time. That's been 2.5 years, right? And they had a $400 million seed round. So, like, and that's a lot of money, right? So I think we just gotta give these spaces grace and realize who's actually at the helm of these projects. a lot of money doesn't mean that you know what you're doing from a business standpoint.
It doesn't. A lot of teams are broken behind the curtains, but you see their pictures, which is what you're buying, and you think that they can't, that they can't do any wrong, but that's obviously a fallacy.
Yeah, well, as my job as a PFP, I have to say Garga didn't left, Gordon left, Garga's still there. And also, I do love there's drama happening recently, which is Ape Fest announced in Hong Kong, and there's a lot of announcements saying, apes, if you smoke weed there, you will go to jail. And it's like, listen to me, apes. Do not. And we're like, what?
Wait, do you have ape too?
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, nice. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
No,
3 apes.
actually, what's it called? The last Ape Fest in New York. No, the one when Eminem and everyone played.
Yeah.
I remember it was like no smoking weed, and I was there, and the apes started lighting up. And the security guard was like, no smoking weed, no smoking weed, and they literally looked and they went like this. Oh my god. And just gave up. And it was like there was nothing to do because every time someone was like, "Don't smoke," they're like, "What? Don't do this." And there was more and more and more.
Yeah, but China, you will go to jail.
Yeah. So Hong Kong, I'm a little which I do wonder, apes, don't you know we're all gonna go to jail? This is gonna be the greatest,
Yeah, and speaking, I'm trying to relate this back to IP and getting brand awareness outside of the curtain that's shrouded this Web3 silo that we're in. Is that even with Ape Fest last year and the year before, I'll take last year because it was open air. I think, based on Azuki, they should do some kind of small fee pay-per-view for non-holders as well, and people that can't travel to Hong Kong and don't want to go that far, because there's not going to be, there's not going to be any musical acts kind of things like big stars. It's a different kind of thing going on there, which is probably amazing in itself. But if they're going to do something like that in the future, because they want to be like a festival, they want to be gaming company and whatever, is that charge people $20 so they can view and go, wow, they got those stars there? How do they get Eminem and all these other whatever?
Yeah, pretty much just streaming on a GoPro on someone's head, get to choose which ape adventure you want to go on.
Or that too, whatever, you can do that, but the official kind of like a YouTube kind of partnering and getting the eyes on it is the type of things that I like to see, I would like to see.
Nice, yeah. So I don't even know how we got back to apes. Good job, apes. Good job. We did it. We brought it back. Hey, pumped our own backs. I'm just joking. So this was announced today here. Okay, so this is probably the breaking news. This is either the greatest thing in the entire world, or oh my God, we're about to see some of the best scams we've ever seen. OpenSea announced deals. This is, we can trade our PFPs finally, right? We can do it in OpenSea. We're not going to some third-party website. So either this is going to help all the security problems, or we've just increased them by 100. I'm not exactly sure, right now, because I do like the idea that a lot of us, our collections are in OpenSea. You're verified, various people. I can click, I can look through your collection. Oh, you are this person I'm trading with, right? We're trading. Click on it. Every time you're on another website, when you click a link, it could go somewhere else. So you're OpenSea won't lie to me. So offhand, I think this is probably a net positive for security. Do we want to encourage people to just trade PFPs? Is that a good feature right now during the bear? I don't know. So yeah, curious anyone's thoughts venturing. You're a big trader.
Yeah, no, I like it a lot. I think essentially what they created is that safe space. I guess I'll equate it to if you were to sell something on Craigslist, instead of going over to somebody's house and saying, drive down the alley and I'll meet you there kind of thing. It's here's a little safe space that we're going to kind of facilitate this for you, and I think it's a good thing. The only problem is that it is a bit clunky. I saw a couple of videos of people working with it, and the issue here is that just with all the signatures and everything that you need to do to set this up, it's really hard to make it nice and user friendly. Each party has to approve certain contracts on their wallets, and then the other person has to approve those contracts on their wallets, and then you got to approve the swaps, and there's multiple transactions going on, and everything has to be done at the same time, and then you got fees involved with that too each time you're putting something on chain. So it's a bit clunky, but I think for safety wise, it's a good thing. And I think you can only trade between verified collections as well, from what I heard. Yeah. So
what's up, Doc?
Well, it sounds I don't even know what it is, but it sounds like an escrow program that we have in real life, and that's just the way the ETH protocol works, right? If you're gonna give a token to someone, you have to approve things, and it's like that in real life anyways. If you're doing a private deal with someone, there's some middleman in between, and this is kind of cool because it's just introducing peer-to-peer transactions without a third party getting involved, which is the whole point of blockchain. Right?
Those third parties was scary, man.
Exactly.
Like, yo, you want to trade and send me this link? I'm like, bro.
Yeah, getting like 10%
That's
off
the
each
big
site
thing
too
with
and stuff.
this.
So it's just it's
Peer-to-peer
Right,
trading has
right.
always been around the last 2 years. NFT Trader, Kiwi Swap, and I've used them dozens of times. And there's a real need for that in this space. But like it says right here at the top, additional tips to stay safe, deals require no links. I think that's the biggest key here because to Logic's point, people got phished because they got sent mimic sites, like duplicated sites with like one nifty swap with 2 Y's.
Kiwi.
Yeah.
swap.
And so
Yeah,
once you
single
press that approve button, and these guys are super shifty now. I remember I realized how advanced they are when I spent 3 weeks wheeling and dealing with a guy on a trade, and he was being so tough to like get me this deal. And finally, we came to an agreement after 3 weeks. And I'm like, all right, we're using NFT Trader. And he goes, I can't get it to work. Sends me a screenshot. He goes, let's use this one. And I was so emotionally involved, and it had finally been a deal that I wanted. Like, my expert ass almost clicked it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is good.
He's
So-
like, it doesn't work for me. Cool. Bye.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Because that's always what they hit you with. Like, that one doesn't work for me. You go, all right, cool, dude. I'll find someone who it does work for. Get a new computer, idiot.
I mean, so most of those scams run on emotion, right? Like they want you to get into the deal. You really want that PFP or whatever the case is. So I think at the end of the day, no matter what, you would have had to do multiple transactions, like at least 2 per person. God knows when the other person might actually like sell theirs to you, approve that transaction. So there's minimum 4 transactions. You don't know when you're going to get your PFP. And if you are going to another site, again, like there's such a high chance that you're going to connect to a drainer. People send you links. People like there's a lot of really easy ways to scam people, especially when it comes to NFTs and crypto in general. Like it's the hottest market. So I think it just makes everything safer for everyone. It's a trusted site. We all know. We've been using it for years. So far, knock on wood, hasn't been anything with OpenSea.
Yeah, like, you know,
So, like,
a
if you're
password
doing it
manager
anyway.
website has never leaked all of the passwords before. It's never had, you know, sorry. Yeah, I'm with you. I want to agree. But we have to say it has happened where it's like, it's one site. We put all our passwords there to keep us safe. And then, boom, they leak. Actually, Max, you're a developer. I'm kind of curious your opinion of this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was just kind of thinking, it's like, I like the idea that there aren't links, because that was my initial concern. It was like, okay, well then they got deals. Someone could just spin up a phishing site for deals itself, and now you got the same issue. But ultimately, I think security is like, it's kind of like a person problem rather than like particular software and stuff, because people are always trying to solve the issues, but then there's always leaks and software can get hacked. And so for me, it's mainly of like how are you being able to tell like the different energy of people that are talking to you. And if you talk to enough scammers or you interact with them enough, you can kind of sense like a particular energy with someone who's trying to scam you. And some of them are good, but you'll be able to feel it in some
minutes just for fun, and like
You're the guy.
It's not safe. Like you gotta be more careful, and emotions get high pretty quickly. Like I've been using Uniswap for 3-4 years, probably a lot, not as long as a lot of people, but I've used it a lot. So like if I was gonna get an airdrop, that's gonna be a fuck ton of money. So like thankfully, like I saw everybody else posting about the fact that he got hacked before I saw a post about like claiming your uni. So
Yeah, great point. Today, was it CEO?
Yeah.
CEO Uniswap, like
Who, Hayden?
SimSwap maybe. I don't know his name.
Hayden got.
Oh, Hayden. Hayden got hacked.
He
You got
did?
it. It was Hayden. Hayden got hacked, and so you're like, he's the CEO or whatever he is, right? Like, you know, and
I
yeah.
didn't know that. Interesting.
I didn't know that. Interesting. You didn't get drained, did you, Slime? You're fine, right?
I'm gonna
Okay.
look it up right now.
Okay. He's looking at his phone right now. I'm okay. I'm
Where'd
scared.
all my money go?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Cool. So I think the general consensus then is like right now generally seems like a good thing. You have to always be vigilant for the next scams here. But in general, good job, OpenSea. Let's not go to third-party sites. I'm pretty happy. Next, we got to talk about actually because we did mention Prohibition coming out. We put our predictions out there. I was curious. This is a new Gen Art platform. Whoa.
Uh-oh, what's that?
Whoa.
Banned.
It's prohibited.
Count as what?
Whoa.
Okay, so it's not going that good. So there is a brand new Gen Art
That's not
platform called Prohibition that was, yeah, that's it.
Can you scroll?
I think you can go down and click on it.
Oh,
View
right,
profile. It's okay. It's okay.
That kind of helps the brand, right?
Yeah, this is good
Yeah.
shit. This art is dangerous. Marketing.
Was that on
They did
purpose?
that on purpose.
Yeah. So this is a brand new Gen Art platform built on the Artblocks engine, but it's on Arbitrum, right? And we do not collect art on Arbitrum right now. Truthfully, that's not a thing. Every artist I talk to, every collector go, what's your Arbitrum collection like? They go, what are you fucking
Yeah, but you know what? Now I do.
No, now you do. So we were all asking, what is going to happen? Is this going to work? Is this going to not? They did a lot of releases. Look at that Emily floor price. 0.37. What did that mint at, Rosenbaum? Also, I just can ask
It was
Rosenbaum
up
any mint price.
0.05.
See, there you go.
It
That's
peaked
great.
at
He knows.
0.4 the day of, and then I saw it last night around 0.22 or so. So
Wow.
it's rebounded a bit, which I'm kind of
So
surprised
wait, you're
by.
saying 0.05 to 0.37? Hot damn. What are we doing in PFPs, right? So,
Shout out to Ed too.
oh yeah, Ed's minting right
Ed's
now.
minting
yeah, totally.
right now.
It's
There's
minting
still
right
like
now.
100
Yeah, he's getting
mints.
he's getting close actually. 201 to 333. He's actually getting close to mint out here. So nice. Yeah, they did a lot of releases though. It was like
Yep.
it wasn't like one single release, a lot, and people seem. I want to get others' perspectives though. Generally pretty happy. I mean, the fact that Emily is a banger.
I
like
mean,
generative art release in my mind.
Emily's like, if you were in the Discord and you were like prepped for this, you bridged your ETH, you were ready to go. It was literally like live, and then by the time you did 2 clicks, sold out.
Yeah.
It was just like, it felt like an old school mint where you just, if you didn't have the bot or you didn't have the speed set up right, like you weren't getting it.
Totally.
I mean, it's a small collection size too. I believe that hers was just 100 pieces, and this is the very first mint that they did as well. So, I mean, I think you're going to get to the point now where you see sort of this curated list of artists that they have, which if you go back to their Twitter and go up to the top, I mean, they have like
Their
a calendar
band
there.
Twitter, but okay.
Yeah, they have their calendar there, but then because it's an open platform, now anybody literally that could write up some P5JS and create their own project can go in here, hit create project, and drop, you know, whatever library they're using to create their gen art and drop their project on here.
But didn't we talk about last week that that's kind of curated, you know, by the community beforehand?
No, this is the first drop right now is curated, but now it's, oh, I'm Troy. That was hot. Emily, 0.05 to 0.37. Troy's drop's coming. You can do it.
You said it like I'm a scammer, though.
No, you're not a scammer. You're a really talented gen
Well,
artist.
that story
You're a talented
point.
gen artist. First of all, Troy, you're not allowed to act right now, so please don't act.
This is the natural way I do things.
But you know what? I'm going to go to Ed Balloon because
Yeah.
here's like a perfect example. Ed Balloon is not a gen artist, and
Yes,
Ed
yeah,
Balloon that I know of does not know P5JS.
No, he doesn't.
So what's amazing about this platform with the community aspect of it is that if you're an artist that does other traditional types of art, whether it be music, traditional art, or even like physical paintings, if you have an idea in your head and you want to put it through code, they match you up with somebody on the platform so that you can team up and work on a project together, which is exactly what he did, which I think is really
Like
cool.
I say, I do love that. I love matching artists to coders. However, in the background, I'll tell you what, in like 2 months, that coder, he's actually just pulling up Code Interpreter and being like, yeah, cool, there we go. Okay, cool. I'm matching. I got matched with 100 artists today, and I did them all.
He's like, let me
Okay.
just change a couple of numbers here, and we'll just
Yeah.
pass it on to
Well,
you.
no, I would say, I am going to say it. Code Interpreter by ChatGPT right now, the P5JS, actually exploring it, insane. Like, it is shocking. I can say, here's an image. Take this image with P5JS. I want to make it like, change these hues, have these stripes. You can describe what you want with the art, and we're starting to get there. I think what I still think is cool, and matching with an actual coder is always better than that, but
Yeah, I like that the art blocks engine should get respect for this, and that kind of right. I mean, it kind of brings it, you know.
Should it?
I mean, I don't.
Yes.
I mean, no, but it sort of brings that, you know, it's a new platform with that engine, and you know, we need new stuff in this space. I mean, I'm not minting that much at all, and I'm like one of the biggest degens. I'm just not interested anymore. I couldn't even tell you what ETH projects. I'm not into PFPs, you know, anymore, except what I'm building, and I just think that we need some new blood. And I liked how they put several drops together, and looking at that floor price from Emily, it's kind of like bullish for now, you know.
Yeah, so like let's take a step away from the price for a second, because besides it being this new shiny toy thing that we all is like, ooh, piece of candy, that's like the entire space.
Yeah.
What I think the artist to developer relationship is super underrated. Or not considered enough. It's almost like the MC and the DJ, right? Like you need the two to make the shit work. So what we're looking at is the beginning, almost everything Me as an artist who works at the intersection of art and technology, I know how to communicate it to a developer on a sense of variables. If this happens, then if that happens, and if that doesn't, then this one. What this is doing is this is opening up so many avenues for the way artists are thinking just by being exposed to this platform in itself. This is like ABC 1, 2, 3. Not to downgrade the technology, but what the artists are going to be exposed to as what they can do in phase 2 of their career, phase 3 of their career, after being exposed to understanding how they can create different narratives utilizing technology.
Yeah, I do think that like for a lot of artists, like you see generative art, and it's like, well, I'm not a generative artist, so what can I do?
Yeah,
and it's
which
like,
is
well,
wild.
guess what? The generative artists aren't artists either. They're coders who then were like, well, I know how to do P5JS. It's like we don't. I'm a coder. I'm that person. So like that's why I want to hate on everything. I'm like, I could do that, and it's like it's not about I could do that, right? I think one of the best like modern art quotes, right? It's like it's a modern art is it's about like. Someone says, I could do that. It's who just does it, right?
Yeah.
Great. It's a single image. Great. You did it, right? So I think getting people's mindset that it's not about having access to some tool and being an expert in it doesn't fucking matter, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people who aren't the most technical painters make better paintings, and the annoying technical painter is a nerd, right? Who like I don't like any of their art. So
These are new artists, the creative coders, what they're calling them nowadays.
I mean, Orson Welles once said, being ignorant, and not in a negative sense, being ignorant in a playing field of real technical people is actually better, because the angles that he used in the movies, the classics that he did, he wouldn't have gotten that. He dreamed it and he did it. And so I stand behind that, So I think that if, like a technical musician can't write like a person who's just putting melodies together, and that usually works
Jimi
better.
Hendrix couldn't read music.
Huh?
Jimi Hendrix couldn't
Exactly,
read music.
and BB King didn't use chords. You know what I mean? And that's pretty amazing. We don't have to get into that, but we can do it.
No, let's do it.
Go ahead, do it. Yeah.
Oh, you did.
Certainly there's plenty of amazing musicians that don't read music. Tom York, a lot of jazz musicians from back in the day. And so, yeah, that proves that if you have music inside you, of course it's got to come out, right? But we've got Bach, Mozart, all these amazing people that did read music. And, then my favorite, well,
Yeah.
I don't have one favorite,
No,
but anyhow, enough of me being silly. It's not going to hurt you to learn to read.
And no, it definitely. And you could be a super genius that can supersede like technicality, but some most technical people are not have that raw talent that is a good poetry, like sort of yin and yang that you need for stars like that. Yeah, so I agree.
No, I'll say so. Obviously, I've got strong opinions about music. Okay, as someone who does read music, and there's two problems here, right? And I'm saying there's people who learn the technical aspect, but they're never figuring out how to express themselves. Who cares about the technical side? You could literally spend 10 years studying music and never once focus on writing a song. I know classical musicians who literally, I'm like, cool, let's jam. They go, what does that mean? And I'm like, we're gonna here, I'm playing something, check. And they're like, what do I play next? I'm like, are you fucking joking? And they're like, no. These are people who are paid $100,000 a year to play their instrument. And they're just like, what notes should I play? I'm like, I only play notes you tell me to play. I'm not gonna make things up. It's a different skill. Writing songs is a different skill. And same with art. It's not about coding. It's about coding to, express something from yourself. And dude, artists with a vision times someone who is technical, that is a beautiful place to be, right? And always reducing barriers toward that, I think is great. That's coding, that's AI, that's all these things. So I think the thing that Prohibition needs, and that can happen, I think, is we need a uncurated, which we're already into now, successful mint. Where someone puts something out here, the gas is cheap, they're not a big artist, and we go, holy fuck, this artist rules.
That's the value for this, in my opinion. It's not to sell anything over 0.02, in my opinion. We have our blocks, we have another couple dozen our blocks engine platforms that have all the curated artists and have different kinds of price points that are usually high. This is the FX hash of an Ethereum-based layer project that allows for artist discovery and exploration, and it brings the fun back to minting. Our blocks, you have to make a very huge decision now if you want to mint, because it's always expensive. Doesn't matter. All of their platforms are that way except for Verse. So shout out to Verse on the alignment with Prohibition, with having cheap mint. So that's what I think, to your point, is let's go discover the next great artist and do it cheaply, and then ride that up with them.
It also makes coding fun for people who don't necessarily want to make art, but are interested in doing coding, but don't want to do it to do security or whatever monotonous thing you got to do every day at a big corporate job. So this is
Yeah,
cool.
and I mean, we talked about it a week or two ago as well. I mean, this is like the kind of place where you can be a bit experimental as well.
Yeah.
You know, when most of the people want to mint on something like art blocks, there's a whole application process, and you know, it goes through a board of people that looks through, and then you get placed into like a curated category or not to be dropped on art blocks. So I mean, having something like this, it's on an Ethereum layer 2, something that's open that anybody could just drop whatever they want. For a gen artist that might be wanting to make that L1 jump to an art blocks, this is a perfect place to do that type of experimentation. Code Trip.
I was saying, this
badass.
is, I think personally, so this is a new platform, right? The
Yep.
first, I consider it a complete success. I was actually surprised, I think, not to be negative, right? I was like, wow, this is very successful, awesome. Not all of them are minting out right away, but exceeds my expectations. Code Trip is the first really high mint, right? This is 3 ETH.
Yeah.
3 ETH.
Well, this is
It'll get, it could, it's a Dutch.
Dutch
it could get down to
Yeah, Dutch.
0.12,
Yeah.
but initial hype said a thing that went from 0.05 went to 0.37. This is the preview they've been bragging about Prohibition with. I'm on Twitter, I saw this and I said, whoa, who are they? That's pretty fucking cool, right? On chain. That's on chain, right? That's pretty cool. So I think how this one goes, if it's successful, we're gonna see an influx. I mean, if this mints out at 3 ETH, I guarantee in 1 week we're gonna see so many new. Hi guys, my new thing's on Prohibition. Check it out. We will enter into a brand new, almost like we did the
It'll be
open
the
edition meta.
It'll be what Patrick was talking about. It'll be the people that go on a chat GPT and say, give me something that looks cool, that has lines and looks like sand, and you know, it'll spit something out and they'll throw that algorithm into Prohibition and try to sell it. But I think that's where, you know, us as collectors come into play, because we can see where people have been, what they've done over time through Twitter and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I think the market controls itself there.
But I can't wait for the day that we're seeing spaces that are largely larger than the ones that we currently have that are around PFP meta and like shitcoins and stuff like that. Although that's good drama and stuff like that. But this is fun, like artists making art is not as largely talked about. The spaces are smaller, and I can't wait for that to proliferate a lot more. Because I think it's more lasting, and it's hard to build a PFP project. What are you doing?
This is so much more fun. If I'm gambling on this goofy, I'm sorry, no offense, this Code Trip, I'm having fun. Like, look at this goofy little thing I minted. It's on chain. I bought. Is it gonna go up? I don't know. That's more fun right now for me than like, here's a PFP. It's 20,000 rabbits. Are rabbits gonna go up? I don't know. So
I'm a little confused just because I've been a long time FX hash person.
Are you going backwards?
This is literally FX hash on Tezos.
Yeah.
There are
you're
mad
playing that?
communities and mad artists who are doing amazing spaces, but nobody listens and nobody pays attention, because guess what? There's artwork way better than this, daily minted there, but guess what? Nobody listens because it costs $5. And that's the whole point, is the artists are spreading through the underground here. And I get what's trying to happen here, but
Well, you want to know why? It's because it's on Tezos and not Ethereum.
But
what happens?
But this is on Arbitrum, which is it's a layer 2.
But it's a layer 2 of
So
Ethereum.
you think the layer 2 value adds?
I think the artists. Sorry, I have to just say one last thing. Is I think the artist community is way stronger on Tezos, and I'm an Ethereum person, right? Way stronger, way more unified, and they show up, right? Whereas most of the people who show up on the Ethereum side, at least I'm just speaking from my experience, have been the PFP side, right? It's not as much, and I love this, right? Obviously, anything that pushes exactly everything you guys have said, I'm all for, right? I'm just sharing.
So
FX has been here, right?
Even from that, there is a way I've been exploring it for ordinals and ETH is you can do the emblem vault where I can play on both sides. I can do ordinals and I can do Ethereum, and I can do Tezos and I can do Ethereum. Oh, you don't have Tezos? That's fine. You can also copy it into ETH. But I think for this, in my opinion, especially utilizing art blocks, it's not necessarily about if the art is better or worse, because I think that's ultimately subjective, but this entire generative thing is all on chain, which even if I don't care about this car driving through this tunnel, that he can go backwards. Can you go backwards?
I can't stop looking at it.
He goes backwards, but
me too.
No, you can control the car. There's controls. You can drive him.
Yes, that's crazy. But what is to come from this?
Yeah.
Right? This is like us throwing spaghetti noodles at the wall. Everyone's building on separate islands. These are proof of concepts. What do you do now that we know we can do this all on chain generative and make? Now what happens from that?
Totally.
And forever Promenade, this is one of the first, right?
So
I have to say that I don't disagree, but I do disagree just because
Just
this,
do it. Just
this
go for
has
it.
been done. Literally, this same thing has been on FX. I probably minted one a year ago.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all on chain, right? Now, if we talk on chain, meaning it's minted on a blockchain, okay, but is that all code pushed? That might be a different thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
If
Not the
if
fact that
that's
the
all
NFT
code,
is on chain.
straight pure
The fact
code.
that the generative code for this particular thing is all on chain.
So
Yeah, that's when we get into that terminology
Yeah.
stuff, which is
So
important.
there are two things here. One is, do we assign value to art based off what chain it exists on is one thing. But we've now moved to another part of the debate, which is, does it matter if it's a layer 1 or a layer 2? Okay, so we all believe that art is the most high value on ETH, and now Bitcoin, goddamn ordinals are starting to fight for it, right? But ordinals obviously took over and said, we can't have high-priced art over there. ETH, we can have high-priced art over there. Tesla's not sure. Does a layer 2 work? We don't have that answer yet. I think one of the problems with Tez is, and I think that, he's got, dude, I don't trust, I know Slime's got some Arbitrum bags probably, right? He's copy trading. Okay, sorry. The only thing is, so with this, is with Tez right now, Tez art doesn't necessarily make you money, right? It's not all about making money, right? I think collecting Tez art is cool. I think there's some of the best artists over there. But truthfully, me and all my friends, we just buy it and you hold it and you never sell it and you never make money. I'm in the ETH art blocks world. You buy some, you sell a couple to afford your next buys, you know? And that really keeps you more motivated inside of it, right? Like, Arbitrum, can it exist like this? So if I make some money off the Emily, I mint 2, I make my money off 1, boom, I could mint the next 20 mints here. And now I just turned 1 mint into 20 mints from art I like. That's not possible on Tezos right now. Arbitrum, this new platform, maybe it's showing that could happen. And if that does work successfully, I think CodeTrip is going to be a big part of that. Like, hot damn, I can make money from art and collect more art from it. My art blocks bought all my art blocks. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it should work, right? So
there's not going to be any fine artists dropping on Arbitrum for, Tyler Hobbs is not going to come to Arbitrum to drop a high-profile project. Once again, it's a place for discovery. The person, if we discover a Zancan like we did on FX Hash, right? Okay. Which he was a dollar mint also, and now they cost tens of thousands of dollars to own one. We're going to find that here in Arbitrum, and don't get me wrong, we'll find that new superstar that was $10 to mint. He'll be worth thousands of dollars, but their next project will not be on Arbitrum or Tezos. It's going to be on Ethereum, maybe an Ordinal. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the G League, and we're just watching it.
What's wrong with using it as like a testing grounds?
No, that's what
that's
we're
what
talking
yeah,
about.
that's what it
We
is.
love it.
Yeah.
No, this is like
the only thing is that the first testing turned out where someone made you a lot of money.
Yeah, but,
Like,
here,
it's
but
like-
the thing with that is, I mean, I'll just say it's drop 0. I mean, it's the first drop. So,
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
it has that premium to
point.
it.
Great point.
Who knows if Emily would have been drop 9 if you would see the same price, if that makes sense. It's almost like, buying that day 1 piece. Like, it has that extra little premium boost to it.
Yeah, the
Genesis
Genesis.
is what we used to.
Yeah, you got
Genesis.
You
I'm
got
dropping my Genesis.
yeah.
Genesis is the most important.
Well, and
that
it's the
word
same-
means so much.
It's the same in the art blocks world. I mean, you got the day 1 squiggles that got a little bit of a premium on them. Like they could
double.
look.
Day
They
zeros are worth way more.
yeah, they're
Sheesh. Yeah, totally. I was
just-
gonna say, if you guys, every time I start a new code repo, my first Git commit is always Genesis commit, and no one cares. but people come over and they go, "What the fuck?" Because I'm gonna mint those, okay, one day, and there's thousands of them. Okay. Actually, related to this though, this was also happening at the same time, which I think is actually like. Look at this list of artists here: Claire Silver, Tyler Hobbs, Emily Z, William McBann, Bodo.
all the legends.
All the legends. So this is Gucci times Christie, and I think, well, truthfully, I think they did a terrible job, Gucci, like explaining how this thing came together, because they said, yeah, interplay between autonomous systems and fashion. Like, what the fuck does that mean? And they're like, they're all fashion inspired. Like, the Gucci bamboo handle inspired someone. Like, well, who and what and how? Like, there's not a lot of details, it seems like, in the collection, but it's way more high end, right? Like, they have a Zach Lieberman in this too, I think, which they didn't include Zach Lieberman in the list of artists they're doing here, right? So that's insane. Like, that's like, In my mind, he's top
It just says
three
he's
Gen art.
the and more.
And more. Exactly. Lieberman's and more. But yeah, it's interesting because first of all, it's Christie's, right? Christie's, the auction house, which I don't look at as necessarily like the peak of culture because Christie's wants to make money. Come on now, like they'll sell baseball cards, they'll sell our NFTs, they'll sell anything. But it times Gucci. I mean, Gucci is a luxury brand. Gucci's obviously in the NFT space, right? I've been with my friends while they paid for Gucci items in Ethereum and ApeCoin, right? Gucci takes ApeCoin, Gucci takes Ethereum. You can go to the boutique and buy stuff with it. I went in there and I said, cool, what's the cheapest thing I can buy? They said, it's this pair of socks right here. It was like $300. And I said, okay, so I'm not going to spend money at the Gucci. So they're obviously in the space. And they picked like some of the top end artists in my mind. Now, I don't know how much we all care necessarily. Like, I think some of the art was like good, but like, I've not heard anyone talk about this as like a big thing. So, I mean, venturing, you're like deep in this world. You're in fashion and gen art.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we saw the last couple of months with like Sotheby's, like what they've been doing with like their auctions and stuff.
What I'm
like
saying,
that.
the Goose was like the hottest thing
Yeah,
ever.
the
That
Goose
was
the
like
hottest
big
thing,
news.
and you gotta when you're an auction house, you gotta compete a bit, and they got their own team. It's cool that they're collabing with Gucci and Gucci's playing around in the space. I mean, there's a lot of other traditional fashion brands that are testing new things. I mean, recently we had like Dior drop some shoes that were limited edition that were like chipped pieces, and they're testing things out a bit as well. So I mean, to me, it's cool to see like
Actually,
a lot of these traditional fashion brands jumping into the space.
I will go back, actually related to, because we just got to bring it up anyway, right? This is the first post Louis Vuitton trunk digital drop. They're actually coming out. So Louis Vuitton with Pharrell, who's obviously he's creative. What is he? Creative director of Doodles?
Yeah.
He's obviously in the space too. They are releasing their next digital products. Like Gucci and Louis Vuitton and Christie's all this week announced not just like little things. Like the Christie's drop, to go back to it, it's fucking insane. Like Rosamond, if you go back to the prices, opening bids, Claire Silver, 40 ETH, right? Like the Zacks are 8 ETH. Tyler Hobbs, he's got a Fidenzas, 75 ETH. You don't think that Fidenza is going to sell for 75 ETH?
Look at that, 220 ETH right there.
220 ETH. So like, obviously they're going after luxury, not selling us all PFPs, but I don't know. I guess
this is great for the space.
It seems great for the space, but I'm not hearing it talked about. Is the only thing.
No, I mean, yeah, I think, but that's when you got to look at a mass consensus where money is often the carrot for people to participate. The 69 million people thing and people coming in cash grabs, right? This doesn't serve everyone.
Right. This is for rich people.
Yeah, this doesn't serve
It's for
everyone,
rich people,
right?
but it's good.
You can't talk about these buckles on these loafers, right? Because you can't afford these buckles on these loafers. So I think for what this does is it just shows the range in what this space has to offer. Like my man that's holding down the mic on the other side mentioned the situation about, I think these should be like 0.02 ETH, but that's kind of looking at that specific spectrum within the world. Now when we start to look at fine art can exist here, these highly sought after items can exist here, and I think we're going to really tap into that when we get back into the LV and Pharrell situation with the crate. But I think this just shows the range in what this space has to offer, and also gives a lot of people participating in the space a spectrum in which they can aspire to be. Like, it's different worlds. You got the Tezos world for the super straight art. You got the counterparty world. You got the ordinals world. You got the fine art world. I think this is great, and I'm glad they continue to participate because it's a good signal for the future of Web3 and as a culture, not as a technology.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I for me personally, I'm a nerd, and I will not stop. They are paying Zach Lieberman, apparently, right? He is such a important, artist in the space for helping people actually make their art better. And I think sometimes we saw this in skateboarding where we don't want anyone to sell out ever. It's like, never sign with Nike, don't ever sell out, right? But then it's all of a sudden okay, so I'm 27, I have to now get a job at UPS because I can't afford anything because I didn't want to sell out. And the attitude, I think, of a lot of skateboarders changed. Be like, no, get your bag. Make sure you're paid. Legends deserve money for what they've contributed. And I think right here, Gucci is they picked really important people. Claire Silver
does work, boy. She does work.
Beautiful choice at this time. You're gonna look in the history books. AI art's gonna keep progressing. Claire's gonna be that name, and it's gonna say Claire Silver Gucci collaboration here. This is better for Gucci in 10 years than Claire, in my opinion. It might be better for Claire now.
And not only, she holds space for people on a day-to-day basis in regards to the AI technology.
No,
so
totally.
It's not just like a self-serving thing. Like they're really tapping in people who are contributing.
Yeah, they don't.
I like the range as well too, because I mean, if you look at some of the other artists in there, I mean, not every single person's also a super grail artist either too.
Like
so I do how
Finger
like
Code down here.
I do like how they've curated.
Dude, the finger
some-
code is my favorite.
the
These are my favorite. This is my
Code
favorite. It's not even. This is the one I want to get.
Finger Code is the man.
Yeah,
we
amazing.
we love Finger Code.
Nice. Okay. How many?
It's
how
only,
much finger?
it's only 1.4.
I have some
only
finger codes.
1.4.
I'm not
okay.
pumping my bag. I have no
Okay.
no culture.
I will say the whole Gucci collab thing is funny to me because I get they're trying to do this blend of fashion and
Ooh, Luke Shannon's in
Web3, and when you go through each piece, like this is a quilt pattern, even though this is digital art, and Finger Codes is based off African heritage prints and culture. The only actual Gucci collab on here, which I'm a huge fan of Luke Shannon,
Oh my
is this
God,
piece right
Luke
here.
Shannon.
So they're using an
A
actual
legend.
Gucci cutout for a suit, and Luke Shannon, who's a art blocks
Super cool.
artist.
Oh, nice. The
yeah.
pattern.
Oh, look
Super
at that.
Fucking cool.
I don't know why it's
Grail,
not here.
Insta
He,
Grail.
He's also
Insta Grail.
done a lot
Oh
of
my
it.
God.
with,
That's great.
That's
I
sick.
didn't realize.
generative stitching.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go buy some more Luke Shannon tonight.
No.
Wait, if you refresh, you said generative stitching?
Generative embroidery. So
Oh my God.
yeah, he's really big on
Oh, I
generative
gotta call
embroidery,
Luke Shannon after
blending
this.
the sewing machine with generative patterns.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought the
Gucci's
stitching
sick.
changed everything. It would have been
Yeah,
crazy.
well, Gucci gave them the outline and the cutout for the suit, and then he's using
Yeah, the
his
pattern, yeah.
algorithm to make the pattern.
It's
So,
sick.
hey, real quick, so if you scroll down a little bit, here's been my big complaint about this too. All right, well, a little up higher. Go to the description section.
I love how Luke has never changed his PFP.
Little high. No, higher
I
up.
want to see that,
Up.
though. All right.
No, up. If you go up, there you go. See, it says starting bid, estimate, description. Click this. This has been my big beef right here. Look at this right here. That's pretty good though. A couple of them have zero info about these. Like what you just described, that sold it to me. Gucci gives them a cutout suit, generative embroidery. That's fucking beautiful. And then a lot of times, for not all of them, but a couple descriptions literally were like non-fungible artwork. That's it.
It's probably
Like-
the artist that wrote the description.
But even if the artist wrote the description, you're Gucci. Your job is to go, we are doing
We
a
need
cool
to-
collab.
yeah.
How do I make this story told better here?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I feel you. I
this
feel
is
you.
This is pretty good.
Yeah,
actually.
and I like how he put that one of X in the description too. That's very art blocks.
Oh, first
right
of all, do you actually want to touch on what is one of X, which I'm actually a big fan of. I'm trying to like push it too. Let's stop saying one of one. We're now one of X.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, you have each piece is a one of a certain amount, so it doesn't have to be a
it's like
fixed
on a
amount.
set, right?
So
You know
I mean,
got-
no, you go. You're the you
I was
Gen
just
R
gonna,
master
gonna
too.
brag that I got one of X.ethan.
Okay, of course.
Pump in
Chill,
the bag.
chill.
The big brains
Wait,
on
wait.
brag.
So it's
Yeah.
a one of one that you can mint as many as you want.
No.
No.
It's like so
It's a
think about it. A one of one, it means it's unique, right? One of one, it's unique. For generative art, each piece is unique, but there's a set of it, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, it's like part of a set.
Exactly.
I see,
So
I
it's
see.
one of X is just an easy way of saying, because we want to say like, I own a one of 750. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, just say one of X. I know you own a unique generative piece or a unique piece of a collection.
And see that's like the thing. That's what art blocks is like each collection is a one of X. Like if you take a look at each collection, each one has different collection sizes with them, but each piece is always unique. Like you're never gonna see an art blocks edition where each piece is the same. They're always each piece is always unique every time. So
But then you get 101s just for education. Here was William Apon's piece. So this is a generative piece, and the way he curated this for this sale is that he did thousands of outputs, and then he decided to choose this as the piece that's going to be sold. So this is a true one of one, but it came from a series of however many thousands.
Yeah.
The difference is he's not going to produce that code for additional pieces. He
Yeah.
curated himself. This is the piece. It's the only one that exists.
yeah, it's cool. And I mean, you had things like QQL, which Tyler Hobbs did, where he put the mint in the person's hand, which I thought was a really
Yeah.
cool mechanic too, where
Totally.
there's literally at this point millions and millions of QQL outputs, but you have only a set amount of mint passes, and you actually have to choose yourself which piece you want to pull from that to mint, which I think is a really cool mechanic.
Totally. Yeah. Actually, it's funny that it does kind of relate. Maybe one of the last things to bring up. Rosenbaum, because I don't have actually a link for it. Can you go to Twitter? The Mythics started their first 50 release today, and they kind of have been fucking with the mechanic here. And one thing interesting they've done is they're not all revealing at once. 50 a day get activated, and you can like choose to reveal them.
For the mythic.
Yeah, the mythics. Super. It's so much better in my mind already than like, it's a mass. Here's all of them. It's like every day we have to wait. Like, I got activated. Let's see what it is. Like, so far it's been pretty positive response, it seems. But yeah, I'm just curious. Since this literally just started today, we've seen like literally the first 50, and yeah, like.
There's little to no engagement here.
Where?
On that Twitter
Yeah,
post.
go back.
Was that from
Yeah,
the
go back,
official account?
Yeah, let's go back. Let's
yeah,
go back.
I mean, Moonbirds has an account. Proof has their.
How
own
many
account as
followers
well.
is on that account? A lot, right?
A
That's
lot.
the official account.
Yeah, that
Why
is-
is there no engagement?
Yes, it got 208. This is great. Thank
I
you.
don't even
First of
know
all,
about
Yeah, I like
love
this.
this.
This is,
What we need.
you know what?
Dude,
It is-
like, dude,
he's
he's like, I could have put out one tweet about mythic squirting, and then we would have
This
had.
is you know, he's in the he's in the Patrick
Not
spot
wrong.
too.
No, it's good. It's perfect. So real quick. So 200,000 followers. Sheesh.
I don't even know about.
No, I don't think that's bad engagement. I think you were in a thread, and maybe it was the
Yeah,
third.
okay,
One
okay,
post,
okay.
it was like
It was a
9
re-
likes.
it was
and
a
I
re-
like,
it was a
what-
retweet,
What
yeah.
the fuck are we looking at here?
Yeah, it was a retweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, since Kevin was on here a few weeks ago, and they're not going anywhere. I mean, based on like if they become more successful, I think they've turned the tide, and I think they're becoming more likable. In a sense. I mean, I'm not saying I love this art, but it's just that they're trying, and I like the 50 drip a day.
They're trying.
First of all, that is the pro tip. Troy's an actor. The greatest way ever to insult someone with being nice. It's the best. With like, hey, do you like my outfit? And you go, you're trying.
You're trying.
It's a great it's a really nice diss that you're still kind of
But,
saying.
no, but
Yeah, but the
I-
50 drip is a market response. It's a
Yeah, exactly.
It's a market response. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. And also, when you say I think people are liking them better, I'm not sure what you mean, because there was a hype where everybody was super excited. No drag, because I think being a founder, I know being a founder is super hard.
It is, yeah.
But it was at one point it was at a unbelievable 4, right? And if we're gonna get into price, and then the sentiment was very high, and then people got fanny packs, and then the sentiment went down, and then there was this thing when he came in
For sure, yeah.
comparing apes and Proof to each other, and then he got slack from that. That was just a month ago. So I'm just kind of, and then he tried to come for Pudgy Penguins. I'm just curious as to how much likable are we talking here, Troy?
Well, what I mean is that
yeah, Troy, #1 Moonbirds.
I sold all my Moonbirds, but that's how likable I thought they were when I sold them. But I just think that I don't think. I mean, he's got he wants to prove himself. I think, and I don't know it's with this art, but I think. There might be a path to that, but I still feel that we're all, in general, outside of the art world, even though they're connected to art with Proof and stuff like that, is that we were all spoiled if you were here in 2021 leaking into in 2022, you were spoiled. None of these things should have been 40 ETH. None of our apes should have been 161. None of those things, because when people are posting about apes, or like I bought this for 0.3 and now it's only $66,000, that's still a fucking win for you. Whoever is posting about that's for engagement, of course. But so I just think that.
Well, I'm with you. So the thing is that this is one of the problems with a lot of collections, right? You promise something in the bull, and then the bear hits. It's all hyped. Birds are worth 10 ETH. We got 20K more coming, and it's like, oh my god, I can't wait to get in.
Yeah.
And boom. By the time 20K comes, Moonbirds are 1 ETH, and it's like, we don't want those, right? How do you handle that promise times the market? And I do think that this idea, you're dripping out the collection, much better. First of all, you get the daily engagement from it, right? There's all
for sure.
I think I kind of think this strategy, every company that made a promise of an expansion, this is the way to do it now.
Yeah.
Be like, it's here, and there's 50 a day, right? Because otherwise, you're gonna put them all out there, your floor crashes, everyone goes through every piece of art, finds all the terrible ones, right? I'd rather do 50 a day
and 10,000 is a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow these days. They don't just feel like it's enough.
Well, this is 20,000, so.
But 50 a day though, right? You can digest 50 a day. You can have a lot of energy around 50 a day, because now you got 50, and you got 100, 150 people communing around, and you can't wait to get in. It's a slow drip of a Soho house.
And it does. I like to point out, it does come with to the end. It does come with a sacrifice, though, in story terms. Like, you have to burn the oddity. You're sacrificing an oddity for a for a Mythic. And so at least that some part of it is becoming deflationary in terms of that project.
Yep.
Well, and there was a lot of heat also when the original oddities dropped as well. Like I don't know if anybody remembered.
Oh, I
like
remember
that whole-
every.
Yeah.
We remember.
Yeah.
Remember, we did an IRL alpha every single
Yeah.
week, so we did a one before and one after. So.
Yeah, so I mean that it is kind of.
But no,
cool
the oddity was like, the Grempling. There they are, right there. The oddities.
Yeah.
People were so mad because they were like, okay, Grempling, Cryptodes, we're gonna get like some mind-blowing, amazing art, and people just weren't happy enough. And I think there's a couple reasons why. Like it was too much body, not enough face. Cryptodes are. I still love them to death. They're amazing because they are just characters. But they're 90% face if you look at them. Like the body and the face are one. And when you look at these little oddities, it's like the face is too small. And I can't get the
That's
character.
why I was
emotion.
funny when Troy was like, you have to sacrifice. I was like, maybe people are just happy to give it away.
No, yeah.
But, you know, to
Yeah,
give it
and on that point, I mean, I was on my own space yesterday, and we were just talking about. I mean, these like OG, like technical, like founders that are like really building in the ordinal space, like OG Bitcoiners and stuff like that. And they're saying we have a long time. Wait for the halving of Bitcoin, a year. Get like buckle up, give shit out for free. You didn't start with anything, and you're creating something an asset out of thin air. Why are you charging right now? And I think that's what's happening in the ordinal space.
This one is way better execution than what Azuki went through. In regards to the palette, the expansion of the universe, they live on, the mythics can live on their own, whereas Azuki's, what were they called? The
Elementals.
Oh my God, I feel like there's everyone's kind of.
We have a game here. If you actually, do you want to play? This is called
Which is
PFP
which?
Gas.
Oh, wow.
Real
Did I
quick, make
do
sure
that
go
up?
to streak mode. So check it out. Here you go, Logic. Click start right now. Tell me, is this an Azuki or an Elemental?
Oh my God, it's a
Azuki.
real thing.
Yeah.
Azuki.
Bill Five,
That's an elemental.
Elemental.
Let's see. You got it. Okay, no, stop. We're on Twitch mode. Sorry, one moment. We actually have multiple modes. Let's not do Twitch mode. We're going to go to OG mode.
Okay.
That was for all Twitch chat. This is just for you, okay?
Okay, right.
Oh, no, stop. Rosamom, see the top? You got to delete Twitch _vegan. I fucked up. You see the just URL? Just say it .com. I'm
Wow,
sorry.
that's crazy.
I'm sorry. No joke. If you guys don't know, this was all started by coders. This like meetup originally, and in one Discord call, I was like, dude, you can't tell the difference. And Ravenous, who's like a big member of the community, was like, oh, 1 minute. And he whipped the website up, and no one could get past 10. So, okay, we got it. Streak mode. Here we go. Logic, what you got?
Azuki.
No! Lost!
Let's go around the horn. Let's go.
That's it. I just used it. I'm going to try. Wait. We'll give you one more. Okay.
Azuki.
That's an Azuki.
Okay.
Okay, we can
That's
all.
an
Elemental.
elemental.
Not bad.
That is
Azuki.
yeah.
That's gotta be Azuki, right?
You're gonna be wrong.
Oh.
That's an elemental.
Yep. You can see the eye.
Okay.
Hair too. I think that's
Yeah.
the hair.
The hair too.
That's an elemental.
They're not bad.
Okay.
That is an
Nope.
Azuki.
No. That
Whoa,
hair's too
wait,
bright. Look
don't
at the-
press
Oh.
it.
Look at
Gotta
Look
go
at the
Azuki.
fighting.
Wait, don't press yet until. Okay.
Yeah, look at the saturation. It's the saturation on the
Is
hair.
this one brighter? Let's do elemental on this one.
No, wait, don't.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh
okay.
my God.
This is an elemental.
No, that's gotta be Azuki.
Wait, don't
Look,
press
it's
it
got
until
the
we're
lower
sure.
brightness
Oh,
on the hair.
Azuki then. You're wrong.
There it is.
Okay.
Oh.
So adventuring.
Oh.
Adventuring. You might be. We actually have. You got to play
It's
around.
it's the Gen Art.
You might be the top.
You
Okay.
got to see that saturation level.
So
going
I was
on.
joking. If you put up a Moonbirds with Mystics website, if someone got one wrong, I would be like,
Yeah, no,
dude,
it's a wrap.
we need to schedule something like
But
that.
that's a problem, right? Is that
Yes.
a problem?
No,
It's kind
no,
of
it
a
is.
problem.
The site was made because it was such a problem.
Well,
right?
The other thing with the elementals is that there is no burning mechanic like there is with the proof. So, I mean, there's no sale that I know of, right? There's no like not elemental. What's the proof
Mythic
shit?
sale?
There's no mythic
No, no,
sale,
no,
right?
no.
So I mean, if you're burning pieces for another piece, you're not diluting your overall collection as well.
Yes.
Because I think that's where a lot of projects, especially PFP projects, are having the biggest issue is that every time they drop a new collection, it's almost like you're getting a stock dividend essentially because you're just, here's a new piece, it's worth this much, which is automatically going to adjust everything down by that amount.
But speaking of stocks, though, that's like associated with some type of business format or some type of product.
Yeah.
Is there? I don't know if adding extra units was the problem.
Yeah, no. See,
They couldn't like their issue was their immediate community not feeling like their asset was worth
Yeah.
the damn, right?
Well, they
so
had
then you add
multiple
20,000
problems, yeah.
more or whatever.
It was
what
a
are we wanting?
Yeah,
them
you
to
couldn't
build?
tell the art difference and that.
Yeah, but
So,
I'm just like curious
yeah.
as to what kind of product or what is Moonburst supposed to be.
The art collector's PFP.
See, and see, this is and this goes back, and
We
this
did it.
is why I'm not that much of a PFP guy, because there's really, like, on the top of my head, if you were to go, who's selling something and making money and doing it right, it's just Pudgy Penguins. Like, that's just automatically what pops into my head, because I look at them. I'm looking at the timeline. They're at Comic-Con right now. They have a line wrapped around the
killing it,
corner,
yeah.
and they're just selling units. I was at Anime Expo here on the shirt, and there was a booth there that I knew that one of the people that were doing a collab with one of the animation studios. They were making $80,000 a day at Anime Expo
yeah.
selling merch.
On a space with Thread, Luca made anybody was on there, he made an offer, and it was a sweet offer. I would have
my
taken it.
God.
And you hear the offer?
Oh, the
Oh,
rod
yeah,
offer?
The rod offer.
I would have said, yes, Luca, thank you for the money, Luca.
I'll reset it here.
I heard about this.
Yeah, for the people that didn't, Luca offered him to change his PFP. He gets to keep his mutant for 3 months, have the rod up there, and then you get 10%. I'll take a physical version of the rod in your sort of like thread guy rod, whatever. Put it in 1,000
Wait,
US.
what are you saying? Rod?
Yeah,
the rod,
the
pudgy, the
Yeah, it's a
fishing
different
rod,
collection,
the
yeah.
rogs or whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's a fishing rod. He was going to make a toy version of it and install them on the shelves in 1,000 U.S. Bass Pro Shops in America. Whether it sells or not, he would get $1 million at the end of the year and 10% of the sales.
It's out of control.
And during his pitch, he said, "I've already sold in general $3 or $5.2 million worth of Pudgy products."
Oh my
like
God.
No,
physical
and not
product.
just that. If you guys don't know, right now, Bass Pro Shop, if you guys don't know, when they do hat restocks, it's war, okay? It is absolute war. Bass Pro Shop, the hats, whoo boy, you can sell them on eBay for a pretty penny. So I'm there. I got elbow pads on. I'm ready to go. It's insane. It is full of people buying fashion. People are not at Bass Pro Shop buying anything about Bass Pro. They're there for fashion. They're there for toys.
It's
How
like
the fuck did Bass Pro do this? I don't know. But
it's like the LL Bean, it's kind of like that stuff. Can we just go to Monster Mike saying, "Troy, you look good today,"
okay.
like as opposed to never? Anyway,
I mean, it's crazy to me. You just look, I'll play Patrick here for a second. If you just look at every PFP community as a whole, nobody's doing anything. Really, it's just like a cycle of the same crap. And everybody's kind
we're
of doing
playing
the
the
same thing.
Forge with apes.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
cleaning poop off my tiles.
I have to clean poop hourly. Like,
I mean, well, Apes got games, which is cool, and they have the ape token, and that's used to like work in their ecosystem, and I like that. But when you like, these are exceptions. Apes, penguins, there's a couple other
Wolf game
out there. Wolf game.
I can't help myself.
You just
What
pumped
about your
back.
favorite Ether?
Ether, come and sit. We talked about Ether last week. That was
Yeah, Ether. Oh man, okay. I don't know if you want to bring it up again.
No,
Actually, can you type it in real fast? I mean, I
fade
tell
it.
you, this is the exact thing I brought up earlier, though, where Ether built up so much fucking hype. January Ether was the
look,
most
an
hype.
Azuki.
It was grind for not bad. It was grind to get on this whitelist. They were going to mint for 1 ETH, and everyone knew if you minted for 1 ETH, you were making money. It's 0.19 right now. If Ether might have said, let's do a Mythics, do 50 a day, maybe this could have like built up more momentum and sustained to a higher level here. You know what I'm saying?
and that way you can go, well, if we have 10,000.
Oh boy, click on 258 though. This is the
happened?
problem though.
Look at that.
These are the, oh boy, that's not good.
What is that?
That's
That's
that's a trait
What the
getting in
fuck is
somebody's
that?
face
and
in
look
the algorithm.
and look at the bat, it's going into her neck.
Yeah.
magical bats. There's a
If
lot
I'm
of
paying
more.
1 ETH for
but-
something,
but
I
is
want
this like the new
1 ETH
Kevin?
product.
But back to your point with the drip, like that drip kind of meta, if if that could be a thing, you can go, well, if we have 10,000, we can go, well, you know what? It's not really, we like the floor here. It's kind of like Seinfeld.
Ooh.
I like that.
I like that too.
Look, it's kind of like how some projects don't know when to be like how Seinfeld went out on the 9th season. They didn't want to fail, so they ended it when they were on a high. They didn't want to be jumping the shark, as they say in TV land. So I just think this meta is
You
over.
say Seinfeld?
Yeah.
I love that quote. Cancel? We're the #1 show. You think we were canceled?
Oh, well, yeah, it's the Larry King.
so
Larry
good.
goes, "Why'd you end?" And Jerry's like mad. He's like, "We're the #1 show." Like Larry. Like, oh, I love seeing Jerry being like, "Who am I being interviewed by?"
Yes.
And you didn't know Larry King was at that point the #1 interview show. Like his ratings were the top. It was.
That quote is so good.
Yeah, an inspiration for someone on a microphone. If you could be that ignorant and just have the biggest guy ever and be like, "So venturing, you heard of NFTs before?" And like it's like, Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's kind of like that guy asking people how much he made on that drop. He was like, "What? You saw that?"
Oh,
Oh my
yeah,
God, dude! First of
CNBC.
all, okay. Oh my God, let's see. Okay, so Trik, do not show the screen on Twitch. Hey, sorry, Twitch chat, you can't see it, but if you could pull up the Beeple, the last Beeple every day. Beeple was on CNN, was it? CNBC. And then he drops his new everyday, and his everyday is like his penis as a squiggle. It's like, this dude is like on CNBC, and then he's like, cool, 2 hours later, he's like, that's my penis as a /squiggle/ape. It's like, right there. He is literally on, like, talking about AI and the future of art, and then the interviewer, that's the interviewer, right?
from the
he just
from the news.
took the interviewer that interviewed him and was like, "Cool, you're measuring my squiggle penis." It's like, oh my God, he's the biggest legend in the entire game. And like, look at the smirk on his face of just like,
It's perfect.
Can we
It's
call
so good.
Can we call it a squeenus?
let's squeeze. And I'll say, this is why though Beeple deserves the money though, right? This is why as an artist, they're like, "Beeple, you're an expert in art. What are your thoughts on this?" He goes, "Fantastic. I think this. Goodbye. Squiggle penis." You're like, yes, that's who you want.
If you go to YouTube and you
Look at that's the guy.
Yeah,
This
that
guy
is the guy.
has no idea he's supposed to be that. Imagine doing an interview and then you're like,
I mean, if you want to see how much of a legend Beeple is, like,
Bro, that
go
costume is-
to YouTube.
Go to anything.
Search, Beeple auction like March 2021, and they actually have like an inside,
I've seen it.
like
It's
an
beautiful.
insider video of like the news in his house.
Yes, it's
as the
beautiful.
auction was going on, watching his reaction as like this piece is going from like 1 million to 69 million within like a couple of minutes.
I feel like Beeple's closet is like when we saw Doug Funny's closet and it's like all the same outfits.
yeah, oh.
I feel like, because I've seen him in real life. He had the blue joint on.
yeah, right
with
there. That's the first
it's
one
like-
right there. That's
100%. If it Beeple's like, button down, I need the what is it called? The half zip? If I don't get a half zip, like, it's not Beeple.
Yeah, and then
here.
at the end, of course, he said, "I'm going to Disney World."
Of course. Okay. With that is actually our show. Before we do end, though, everyone on stage, Logic, it's your first time here. You got anything to shout at? Anything you want to plug?
Oh, wow.
You only get one show, only if you're on stage.
Okay.
That's it. No one else does.
Yeah, just be on the lookout for my upcoming projects. But in the interim, I have a project called The Plug. It's essentially it's an implicit staking program. You can get it at getjuice.today. And I dropped it in October 2021, and it sold out instantly. It was a good time, and
Hell yeah. You're going to teach me Japanese now, too. I'm very excited about that.
that.
I don't know what he said right there because he hasn't taught me yet. So, okay, coming soon here. Adventuring.
Today I'm actually not gonna shill again for the second time in a row. I'm actually gonna go with a shout out. If you go to like the last tweet I actually had about 6 months ago created like my first gen art pieces. I did a 1 of 1 and a like edition of 99. This was like right before the whole manifold royalty saga, and I sold out of the editions, but I tried to sell the 1 of 1 and didn't get what I wanted. So instead of like lowering my price, I just held on to it, and I actually had somebody offer me what I wanted for it originally, and be my first 1 of 1 collector today.
Wow, that's amazing. Nice.
So,
hey, first of all,
I wanna
love
shout
the idea.
out.
You're like, I'm worth 1 ETH. You're
I'm
paying
worth
me
1
1
ETH
ETH.
now. So shout out to Samo, who's also in Emit 1 and a lot of other spaces I'm in, for being my first 1 of 1 collector.
Beautiful. Real quick, you're not going next, Troy. My only shout out is this: Ravenous. Ravenous Maid's PFP guesser. He's the dev legend in the crew. Half of the great stuff, all the fun things coming out. He had an Opepen website ready to go, and then someone beat him, and he was like, "Oh fuck." He was gonna have the Opepen website, but someone beat him. But he'll be there next time. Troy, what you got?
Oh, I wasn't gonna talk. I just was.
Yes, you were. Here we go. Here's Troy's IMDb. You can see him on Barry. You can see him.
I believe in giving things away for free, and I got some stuff coming out with Ordnauts and anime and stuff like that, and to our community and our holders, we're giving out something they don't know about it. I shouldn't even fucking say that. Why am I telling anybody?
We're live.
But I'm just building, man, and I'm here for the culture, and I'm here to learn from people that are smarter than me and people that aren't. I'm here to blow their hair back too. So that's about it. I love being here.
Lovely. Thank you for that. Unhinged intern, a.k.a. Sammy, a.k.a. the most legendary tweeter of all time here. What you got for us?
If you find a squirter, marry her first and
my
foremost.
God.
Bing.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. All jokes aside, I did build a real business from that tweet, and I've worked on some as it gets
Can we
funnier
call it
every time. No, it's called Ratio. I've worked with celebrities building their brands in Web3. Logan Paul, Tory Lanez, Lil Baby, Lil Durk. I've worked with some of the largest DeFi companies. All the Lils. I missed a couple. There's some more. I'm working with NFT Inspect right now and a ton of other awesome projects. So if you do need help marketing your Web3 project, let me know. We got a couple open spots, and I love what I do.
You have built a real business.
Damn.
Beautiful. Thank you. Max, what's up? Tell us about, we heard a little bit about Sense. Anything you want to plug?
Yeah. First of all, thank you guys for having me on here. And I think the best thing to say is if you want to sell your NFT project and you use a Discord, get Sense. SMS has such a high open rate compared to Discord announcements. It's nuts. If you look on any type of Discord, your announcement engagement rate goes down over time. If you get someone's text message, like the platform open rate is like 99% over 24 hours. It's not spam. People have to opt in, so it's not like you're just getting their phone number and spamming them. But it's a really good tool. We've used it for our own NFT projects. We've sold out a lot of them. We're in over 800 servers. It's really kick-ass. So, if you got an NFT project, check it out. And, thanks for having me here.
Beautiful. Thank you. Always. We got to thank Rosenbaum, too. Runs the
Yeah.
computer. Trik runs everything else. Shava hangs out here. We'll be back next week, this Thursday. We're all probably going to get some pizza and beer. So if you're here IRL, hang out for that. If you're in the chat, we'll see you this Sunday online. Thanks for streaming. Thanks for watching, okay? So bye. Later. Goodbye.
Awesome.